Just waiting for everyone to load it. Right then, hello and welcome to round 5 of DMR for the Spanish Grand Prix. Today, I will be commentating Adam along with not Popo today. Instead, we have a special guest in Mr. Ocean Chief, who's kindly filling in and doing a great job at the last minute. So, everyone, welcome to Mr. Ocean Chief himself.
Yes, hello to DMR. Very much looking forward to this race. Spain, a lot of new names to me, so some familiar names as well. I know of Riggedy, one Carl I know of, Shu, and of course Larson, Satoshi, Curse. There's quite a number of well-known and respected drivers in here, but I'm just looking at the stream here. Just want to make sure this is working correctly. I don't see the game actually displaying there, so give me a second, I'll try and fix that.
Yeah, sorry about this. We've had a few technical issues today because we've had to pretty much just rush to get it done because of just a little,
Yeah.
mix up. So we're just getting the stream sorted, so it might take a few minutes before we can get on properly with it.
I think that's it now, Adam. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So,
Yep. Okay. So right then, we'll start with the qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix. Well, I haven't actually raced this track myself this year because this is actually one of the races. But today we're looking at a pretty much a one-stop strategy, which is normally favoured on the medium tyre to start with, and going to the hard is seen as a good option due to the degradation on the soft tyre. You expect to see about, I don't know, about a 118 as a qualifying time to beat today, but obviously these times could drop off as we get later through the session due to the track getting quicker. But at the minute, mostly everyone has got the soft tyre fitted, along with a few notable exceptions, such as Rinrin, who's starting on the hard tyre, and Satoshi. So we'll see how they get on. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race today, as we have a few people making their debuts with Tom for Williams and not Hines, yeah, and Racing Bird for Mercedes, and Contender has.
what a good name, Racing Bird. Is that? I don't know where that's come from, but I thought when I first saw it, I thought it was Racing Bird. But yeah, Racing Bird, that's a new one. And Fluffy Boy, I really like that username.
Yeah, I think his first proper name was Burby when he first joined, but then he's gone to Racing Bird, which is pretty cool to be honest. And yes, my audio seems.
So Adam, tell me, obviously you're the admin of league and you know these drivers quite well. Who do you expect? Who's like your favorite to get pulled today and perform well in the race?
Okay, so if I'm gonna have to go for someone, I'm gonna go. I wouldn't put him on pole, but obviously Rinrin's going for an alternate strategy with the hard tires along with Satoshi. So I'm just gonna have to leave because my volume, the volume glitch. Yeah, so I have to rejoin. I'll probably go for. I don't know. It's hard to say just on the varying strategies, but I'll probably give Larson and Hasselhoff a good chance for pole if they're going on the soft tires. So it'll be a close decision. Sorry. Technical, everything's failing me at the minute because I had no sounding yet. I had the sound glitch, so it wasn't working.
Oh dear. Well, you're back in now, but yeah. So just as you rejoin, there we go. Rinrin has went fast as well, 119.644, which is a pretty fast lap for the hard tire that he's running. I don't think I can't see him starting on the hard tire. But we'll see. We'll see as it progresses. We've seen that like in previous races, in different leagues. Guys go out on the harder tire compound and just get a banker lap in, and then maybe change up and just have a look and see what other drivers' strategies are.
Yeah, it's because like in normally you normally see some of the I would say like higher, well, people like Speedy, for example, from SLR, who will normally start on the medium tyre. It's just so they've got more tyre wear on certain tracks, for like Hockenheim, for example, so you can do the one stop. As normally, if you start on the softs in Hockenheim or Spain, you're going to lose tyre grip within the first 8 laps, and you're going to have to make an early pit stop. So banking on the medium, even though you might not be on pole position, it will be a good choice of tyre later in the race. So you don't have to drive like a madman pretty much through half of the race. So yeah, we'll see.
And I'm riding on board with Verk right now, so I believe he's on to his first hot lap. Got a bit of traffic ahead there. Hopefully one car one car's over to the one side there. Hopefully didn't hold him up too much. But there's no corner names for this track. I noticed it's all numbers, so forgive
Yeah,
us forgive us for not calling the corner names. I'm
yeah.
usually not great at that myself, like, but this one's going to be a bit of a struggle, I think.
I mean, it's going to be easier for me because there ain't going to be any turn names to get wrong this time for me, as I did in the tier 1 stream. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I think.
no, I'm
Oh,
just going
sorry.
to say, Adam, I'm just going to say about, this is quite a technical track. You know, you have the flowy kind of first part and second part, but the third part's very technical. We see Verk heading into this hairpin here, and this part is it's quite a lot slower. It's very technical, and you can make or lose a lot of time here.
Oh, someone's off into the barrier, and sorry, didn't see who that was, but someone is just gone off in front of the barrier in front of Verk in sector 3.
Yeah, it looked like it looked like Tom Hewitt, I think, in the Williams.
Oh
He's
no. Yeah, I think he's just got a bit of wing damage. As Verk puts it P2 on the hard tyre, which is a great lap from him.
and Tom Hewitt has actually just crashed out, coming out of the final corner there. He just swung it into the wall and is now missing a wheel.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's how you want your debut to go in a race, but
I suppose
hopefully.
you got to look at the bright side. I mean, at least he gets fresh tires for this for the race.
As he'll, yeah, said at the minute, that was another yellow flag, but yeah, as we were saying before, with this layout of this track, in sector 1 and 2, it's pretty free flowing like Hockenheim. You just have to glide the car through the track and just be careful you don't get a penalty or invalidate the lap. And in sector 3, you've got to be pretty neat on the throttle getting through the curves, because either of those two cars coming out of the hairpin can either jolt the racers. Larson retires from the session.
Oh dear, what happened there?
I think unfortunately he crashed in the pit lane. I'm not too sure what happened to him, but
Oh
yeah.
dear. Well, that's severely going to compromise him. He'd definitely be outside of the top 10 then. I don't think that time that he's put on there is going to hold up for much longer. I'm currently following Hasselhoff. He's on the medium tire, and it looks like he's he's on a hot lap right now.
Yeah,
He looks like he's struggling a little bit with the track, just with gripping and getting, good line out of the corners. But we'll see how he does over the course of the lap.
yeah. It's like, to be fair, Hasselhoff in the first 4 rounds of the season has done a pretty good job. I think he's finished like Pete. He's always finished in like around there or about in the top 10. And if he can keep up this consistent run, he'll start to get some more things. As Racing Bird sets the fastest time with a 1:18.8.
Wow.
This could be a serious challenge to Rin.
Yeah, that's on the medium tire. So I wonder if Rinrin sees that and he's going to put on a softer tire compound and try and beat that time. Although starting on the hard in second, that wouldn't be too bad, I don't think, because then he would have the faster tire option for the end of the race, which is kind of what you want, really.
Yeah, it's just because I do that. I have not done a league race here this season, so my knowledge on this track ain't really that good. But
Yeah.
just from because I did a quick one on Friday, just seems to be if you start on the medium tire, it'll give you the lasting effects that you need before switching to the hards. It's just just this track, it's just not very friendly on the soft tires, as your back left will normally degrade really quickly, and having to go onto the hards and having pretty much no grip at the end of this track is pretty much a nightmare when you're coming out of sector 2, as the car will pretty much want to kick out from the back. Oh, as Hasselhoff does that as soon as I say it, coming out of that exact turn, and that's pretty much compromised his lap.
Yeah, he's pulled right over onto the grass there. Let these fast boys by. I see Riggity's out on track as well. He's on his out lap.
Yes, Riggedy hopefully going to put in a good performance there after his points finish in Baku last time. So we'll see what he can do today. And Riggedy, he can be fast when he wants to be, so we'll see how he does. But also interesting, Burke has retired from the session.
Oh dear.
Has he thinking P3 is good enough on the hards, or did he crash out? Because I know you went out about 2 minutes ago, so we'll see about that in a minute. Right, so but the minute Doritos in P4, that's a pretty good drive by him. I've been doing a few practice sessions within the week, and he seems to be getting better and better. So, that'll be Shu improves on his time. I'm not sure if he did or not, but this game is pretty much glitching out as we begin. So, I think
Yeah.
Shu's on a. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, on board with Riggedy right now, so we're just going to follow him around his lap. He gets a good run into turn 5, 4. But yeah, he's approaching the middle sector. He gets a bit, he misses the apex completely on that corner entry, but nothing too bad. And you see this fast chicane, Adam yourself, the back end just wants to kick out there, so it's a bit of a struggle to get the power on as early as possible. And
Yeah.
if you get too greedy, you'll definitely you'll have a meeting with the wall, and it won't be a nice one.
Yeah.
Riggity's down into the hairpin, gets a nice slow down there and nice turn in. So we see him going
Yeah.
for this technical slow, and you have to be really patient with this long right hander as you go
Yeah.
into the final set of corners, and then the final chicane. This is key. You need to get a really good run out here. You can clip a lot more curb there, but not too bad from Riggedy, tidy enough as he swings it onto the start finish straight. And let's see what time he puts on the board. A 122.6, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, for a first lap, getting used to the circuit, which is, it needs to just be a little bit of improvement. But while he was setting that up, Rin has responded to Racing Bird's threat and sets a 118.69. They're pretty much nearly eye level pegging at the minute, so that will be an interesting battle to see at the minute as this unfolds. So as we reach the final 5 minutes of qualifying, Rin is on pole, followed by Racing Bird with 0.03 of a second separating both of these two drivers. So it will be interesting to see how they got on the race. In third is Verk, and in fourth is Doritos, which is, for him, he's been grinding in the hours, and his qualifying performance is clearly showing a drastic improvement for previous races. The thing is with Doritos, he's had the pace, but he's not had the consistency, or like the pretty much like kind of bit like me last season, where as he steps out, and I think that's ruined his lap, to be honest. So yeah, I think he was 6 tenths down on his time, so he won't improve in a minute, but he's been showing improvement over in the midweek, so we'll see how he does.
Yeah, you often see that with drivers. Sometimes drivers will be very good at qualifying over the one lap, but not, in the race they're not able to be consistent and have a lot of incidence issues, and usually don't get to the end of the race. And then it's some people have it the other way around, where they're very consistent in a race and perform well on race pace, but the qualifying, and that, I would say, like, I wouldn't say I'm fast in the race myself, but qualifying I do struggle with that one lap speed. And it does compromise your racing, because you're starting at the back, and then you have to try and make your way through, a bunch of fast drivers ahead of you. So you kind of need the whole complete package, if you're able to get that one lap, hot lap kind of pace, as well as race pace and the consistency, so you're able to finish races. That's the complete package, really, and that's what everyone's aiming for.
Yeah, it's like just pretty much getting, as long as you can get it all, then you'll be able to do it. And sometimes if you have a disastrous qualifying, doesn't mean it's necessarily the end, but it's always good to have a decent position when you start.
Yeah,
Right then.
it really helps a lot. I've got Kirst on screen at the minute. He's on his out lap, so I'm gonna see how he does, because we know in his day he can be pretty fast. And I'm just looking at chat as well, Adam. Verk saying on the back straight, so I'm assuming he's referring to his retirement from the session. So he looks like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking he must have came out of that fast right-hander, and he's just maybe, just as Kirst does, puts a wheel into the gravel. It is so easy to lose back end there, and it's a high speed corner, so you know, an error like that can cost you, unfortunately. But Verk's not doing
Yeah.
too bad. I mean, he set that lap on a hard tire, and you know, that's a pretty fast lap. As we can see, he's still third in the session, as Cursed on his out lap is getting it all kinds of wrong. His racing line here is not really good on the out lap. So I wonder if is he able to hook it up for his actual hot lap. We shall
Well,
see.
yes. And then, so as we approach the final 2 minutes, will Racing Bird come out and try and steal pole or lead P2? And I think there'll be a nice battle forming for P4, P5 with Doritos and Marley about to battle for those final positions. So we shall see.
Yeah,
And
I've
can
got, I was just gonna say Tom and chat is saying his wheels were at 70%. Oh, Cursed goes off.
oh
Oh dear, Cursed.
oh as Tom, yeah, oh no, was looking to improve on that, Tom, and I don't think that's gonna do any help
Yeah, he's
for him.
effectively out of the session, and Mortox as well is off track.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Shoes just put it P3. Oh, and he shoe spins on the first chicane, but luckily he completed his lap
Oh
before
dear.
any before anything happened. But
So
at the minute,
I've seen a lot of drivers struggling here with the grip on the track. I wonder if there's oh Shu came on track there. I think he had retired the car, but he came in. Yeah, who's at it? Fluffy boy. Unfortunately, Shu retired there, and his car came back on track and completely put Fluffy onto the grass area. Almost, yeah, he almost died. I think that's
oh god.
unfortunate. Unfortunate, and Fluffy boy needs to watch out. He's got a
Oh,
rebel behind him.
and speaking of that, Thomas goes on pole with a 118.7 on the softs.
Oh, very good. Well,
Where's he? He's just pulled that. Dorito spins off. He comes through there, end the sector one too fast, and puts it straight into. As Hines also goes off. Two
oh
cars in.
dear, oh dear, oh dear. So
There's
yeah,
two cars.
everybody's just gunning it right now, aren't they? And they're paying the price.
Yeah, they just hit the Yeah, just hit the curb too fast and got too much speed. Like both of them just literally come in sync and went out. But anyway, yeah, he was on a decent lap as well, so that's unfortunate for him. So yeah, as now we're gonna see Will Satoshi get another lap in and Will Max Fluffy. But at the minute, it looks like Thomas is on pole, and I
Yeah,
don't think was it no, it
Satoshi's in
wasn't.
the pits there as well. He's abandoned that
Yeah,
lap.
yeah, I think he has. So I think looking at it, it will be. Oh, I think Carl's on a lap. He's currently 4/10 up on his time. So will that be able to gain him any grid positions? We shall see in a minute. And Riggedy is also on his out lap. I don't think Riggedy's gonna make it.
I
I don't
don't
think
think so.
Riggedy's gonna make it to the line.
He's got
Is
two
Riggedy gonna?
seconds, one, and it's over. One Carl is the only car I think on track on a lap at the minute. Then
Yeah.
I think he
So
might have invalidated as well. I don't see any delta on his
yeah,
wheel.
he's 7/10 up on his current time. So we'll see if he's able to claw any time back. So at the minute, if he carries on his current trajectory, he should put it a 10th, I believe, as he comes around the final turn. And as he comes up to the line,
Not a bad run out there, yeah.
he puts it 7th. Look of it. Lap by him.
Nice lap from one Carl. Yeah, in the dying moments. As we know, the track does kind of evolve as the session goes along, so that it is ideal to set the lap at the very end of the session, which one Carl took advantage of.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at the rundown here. We've got Thomas in pole in, Rinrin second, Burb in third, Shu in fourth, Verk on those hard in fifth. So he's looking very good there in fifth position.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Also, great qualifying by Doritos in P6, followed by Carl in P7, and in sorry,
Are you getting messages behind the scenes there?
no, Riggidy's mic was coming from the stream. So, sorry about that. Just put me off a bit, but yeah, that was a great. I'd like to make a little shout out to Thomas for a great qualifying, as that is also another drastic improvement by Tom as well from previous rounds and previous other leagues we've watched him. So if he can convert that, and if he can get the strategy right, he'll probably go for the 2-stop, I think. So we'll go soft, medium.
Mm-hmm. Although
He
soft
needs
to
to have
hard is possible, but it isn't ideal, is it, in terms of, the race pace?
no, because he's just if he'll not, he'll have Rin and Racing Bird come from behind and pretty much take him. So he's gonna have to storm off into the distance and yeah, get a gap ahead of them. So as we start the formation lap,
Yeah, I'm just
and
reading chat, Adam. There's a few people that are giving off about having their lap times ruined. We saw that ourselves there. People struggling and going off track. So it's unfortunately it's
yeah,
compromised a few people like More Talks and I think Tom as well had a bit of an issue there. And so we may see them. They didn't qualify too well, I don't believe. More Talks and Tom, but hopefully we'll see them come up through the standings as the race progresses.
yeah, like with anything like that, if people, because I got a few of it on the stream, so the FIA shall discuss that after. As yeah, it's not acceptable to ruin someone's
We
lap
speak
in
after.
qualifying.
We speak after. You heard it first here.
Yes, we speak after. I can't do a Gunther Steiner accent. It's pretty hard to do it. Apart from the enough is a cut, enough Kevin. We speak after.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Popo might be able to do a good impression. I think.
I mean, what? I think. Well, even though he, I'll say it now. His K-Mag. It just depends. Do you think he sounds a bit like K-Mag, or it's pretty much what everyone says?
Yeah, he definitely does. Like he has a really yeah. He should just change his name to K-Mag. No one know that. No one would know any difference.
I mean, when he gets back, I'll put it out to him. If not, we'll just put it on the stream and show that he actually
Yeah.
see people agreeing with it. But anyway,
Yep.
as the drivers exit the final turn before they start the race,
So
it's going to be a
sorry, Adam. I'm guessing it's a dry race. It looks like. I mean, there's clear skies. I don't see any clouds in the sky, so looks like we've got a dry race in our hands.
yeah. I think we do as well. If any rains come in, it'll pretty much be a miracle unless we have been told by anyone else. So, as the final cars line up on the grid, we shall prepare for the start of the round 5 Spanish Grand Prix. So, right then,
Here
as
we
the
go.
lights go, like one light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights,
And away
and
we go.
away we go.
Oh,
Thomas!
Thomas gets a
Oh, what's
really bad
happened?
start. Oh, it looked like he didn't get a start.
Oh
Oh,
no!
carnage. Riggity's out.
Tom, oh, massive piler.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I think it may be a safety car. I mean, if I don't see a
Us
safety
cut.
car here, I don't know what'll bring out a safety car. But like up front, we've got Rin is he's taking the lead then, and Shoes in second already. Doritos up third. He's made 3 positions. Fluffy up 4 positions into 4th. So a lot of drivers taking advantage of that carnage at the start. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Riggity's out, and I think Thomas is still in the race, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh dear. We speak after, indeed. That was chaotic start. One of the most chaotic starts I've seen. Like, I mean, Thomas just didn't get
Yeah.
away, and it just caught everybody off guard, and unfortunately, carnage ensued. But let's get back to the race. I mean, we can talk about that after. But Doritos made a move on Fluffy Boy. It looks like Fluffy Boy's lagging a little bit. Actually, I'm getting desync on here because both cars they're basically inside each other.
Oh, Larson spins out. Got a bit too much on the curb. Sorry about that.
No, that's Larson's. He's out effectively. He's in P15 now. So he tried to get back on track. He's lucky not to
Yeah.
get disqualified there as well. He pulls
Yeah.
right into the path of Curse as well. So I
Yeah.
wonder. I think we're going to see a few people pitting here because obviously there's a lot of damage picked up in that start. So one Carl's in, Massa's in,
Yeah.
Burke's in. Also, who else is in? Yeah, so Massa, one Carl, Burke, Hasselhoff, Kurst, Larson, all caught up in that lap 1 incident.
Yeah, I think from what I saw on stream, that was Thomas not getting away on the massive pile up, and unfortunately, I think about 5 cars got caught up in it. It was pretty much a repeat of when you've seen countless times. Like I think it was Antonio, was it the Italian Grand Prix or Antonio Pizzoni or something like that in 2003 for Jaguar when he didn't get off the line, and pretty much we've just seen a repeat of that in Spain.
Yeah, I mean it's so
So
difficult. I mean you know you don't really expect a car to like not get off the line, and whenever you're like maybe the fifth car back and you're just you know you've got the throttle down, it's very hard to take evasive action, you know, under those circumstances. But we're seeing
yeah,
Rin pull out a 1.4 second lead on lap 2 already. He's just crossing the line on the lap 3, so he's stretching his legs a little bit already.
yeah, I think pretty much the he's pretty much got a big gift in the fact that Racing Bird and Thomas did not get good starts because they was caught up in that accident, I think. And yeah, I think it's just pretty much compromised all their races as he got a good starters. Kirst retires from the session. I think he got caught up in the start, and I don't think it's gone really well for him at all. So yeah,
So,
as
you seen any
we
battles on the Fluffy Boy and Doritos again, or we've got Fluffy Boy's off track. He's actually
as
just pulled up on the side there. I don't know what's happening or why he's
what's that?
not moving. Fluffy Boy, oh
He's
sorry.
third. No, it's a bit of desync there.
Oh jeez, on
Oh,
my screen, yeah, he pulled over and was like just sitting to the side of the track. So yeah, he's third actually. Again,
yeah,
he's went wide. I don't know if I'm seeing what you're saying here, but he just went wide there and lost a whole lot of time. But
yeah. On my screen as well, he literally got caught up. No, he just literally pulled to the side of the track, and I thought, yeah. But the minute we have got a nice battle on for P5 between Marley and Racing Bird, as we have about 3 cars all bunched together as they come through the final turn and onto the main straight. DRS is now enabled, so we should see a nice battle between Race Marley down to Satoshi as they all are separated by less than a second. Will Racing Bird be able to get the move done going into turn 1 as we ride on board in? No.
oh, he thinks about it though.
Yeah, he thinks better of that as now. Will he come back and try and take him as watching? No, I think he's just gone a bit too wide into that turn. Yeah, as Matt, the standings for us are showing Max is nowhere near the front. Apparently, he's just. I think there's a bit of desync here going on.
Yeah, are you talking about Fluffy Boy? Is it?
Yeah, he's apparently showing he's P17, but clearly he's not.
Yeah, he jumped on to P17 back up to P3 for me. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to follow him too well during the race here. But let's see, we do have this great train of cars fighting over P5 at the minute.
Yeah.
Thomas is in the pits. He's down in P16 there. So yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, Tom Hewitt is
Oh.
out. I wonder what's happened there.
Yeah, I think he might have had a little spin off. What I
Oh
saw.
yeah, I think it's a back. Yeah, that back straight. Yeah, he's on the
Yeah.
side of the road there. Yeah. So he's unfortunately a casualty, early casualty. So 3 cars out at the minute: Kirst, Riggedy, and Tom Hewitt.
Yeah, Riggedy pretty much out from no fault of. From the driver, he said he just saw a Ferrari come from the onside, but it was Racing Bird. Will he get? No, he doesn't get the move done. That was close. He almost took him out as there's another yellow flag. Oh, it was Max Fluffy spins. Oh no, or was that a bit of desync?
I don't know. I can't tell at the minute. Every time I look at him, he's in some kind of issue. Racing Bird and Little Rebel had a bit of a moment there, and Little Rebel is able to capitalize and take that position from Racing Bird. Racing Bird's struggling here. He's got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting.
Yeah,
Gaining 1 place. Oh, so I think, yeah, he was trying to let Little Rebel by there, but wasn't able to in time, so he's picked up a 5-second penalty for that.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think Max Fluffy's disconnected from the session, but I'm not sure what's going on with him because his connection's a bit all over the place at the minute. So I'm not sure if Doritos has moved up into P3 or what. As Hines is closing on P4.
Oh, Marley runs out wide. Yep.
Yeah, as will Hines be able to get Marley on the straight? So
I
as we
think he
watch
will.
it,
Look how close he is. And Marley, I broke
Sato-
really hard there, and he's
also
sliding all over the show.
will Satoshi be able to have a look at him as well as they come onto the main straight? As
Yeah.
Hines comes up behind Marley, will he get the move done?
Oh, I think he will. The DRS here is so strong. I think he's
Yeah,
going to go for
is
the
he
outside. Yep.
going for the outside? Will Hines go for the outside? Will he get the move done? It's
Yeah,
close.
excellent. Yeah, see, he got the inside line for the second corner, which gave him that really good run out. So he's taking position. And it looks like also
Satoshi.
Satoshi. Yep, Satoshi's up to P5.
Yeah, that was close. As Satoshi makes a great move as Massa gets past Racing Bird as Racing Bird comes into the pits. I think just unfortunately a casualty of that one, and I think Max Fluffy has unfortunately disconnected from the session by the look of it.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but we're seeing a really great battle. 4 cars fighting over P4 at the minute, and Satoshi is all over the gearbox of Hines. And
Yeah,
Verk gets a move on Mortox. I think Mortox, yeah, he's had an issue. He's going very slow into sector 2. Yes, his tires look like they're jelly right now as he's struggling for grip, and he runs a little bit wide there going into the fast chicane.
yeah, I think he's got no front wing unfortunately, so that's unfortunate for
Yeah,
him.
he's got some end plate damage there, so he's struggling big time. And we might see him pull into the
As
pits early.
Hines goes wide, and that's allowed Satoshi to gang up on him. So will Satoshi be able to overtake Hines for fifth? Yeah, he does. And
Oh.
I think he's Marley's also gonna get. We've got 3 going wide into turn 1.
Oh dear.
As the Alfa Romeo also has a look and goes wide. Lil Rebel goes wide off the track,
Yeah.
and thought as Mortox gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, it looked like Little Rebel came off the worst there. He's dropped a few positions and just a few corners. But Satoshi up to P4, and he will want to try and break that DRS
Oh,
range.
as Lil Rebel goes across the track and almost goes into Hines. That was pretty much Colin McRae across the track then. That was close and almost ruined Lil Rebel's race. That was pretty close from what I saw, but it was a great piece of driving to keep it together. But anyway, at the minute, Rin is still out in front comfortably, followed by Shu, who's pretty much on his tail at the minute, so it'll be interesting to see if he can claw any time back at the minute, as Shu is currently not using these DRS, as Thomas gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting because I think he cocked up the turn. So yeah, as we all see, as this train as no, I thought Larson was about to join the back of that train, so we shall see in a second what happens. But this is a nice little battle for P4 at the minute. As
Doritos. Yeah, Doritos in the pits.
Yeah, as I don't think those softs are going to last much longer as we have a yellow flag in sector 1. Oh, there's a car off the track there. Who's that? Looks like no, it's Thomas. No, sorry, I thought it was Lil Rebel who was off the track already. So yeah, Lil Rebel is now closing on the back of Carl. Will he be able to make the move into turn 3? Will he get the move? No, he thinks he's not able to get the move done as he's literally all over the back of him right now.
Yes, close racing here.
Yeah, as he gets pretty close to him, as he'll get another chance in the next DRS zone as he comes up to turn 5.
Yeah, Hines, Little Rebel, and Marley are all bunched up really tight. DRS is active, but it's a very short DRS zone, so you can't really make the most of it there. But
as Hines gets the move done on Lil Rebel already, so yeah, as I gets the move done just about. So yeah, he try and come back on the main straight now as these guys are pretty much locked in a close battle as Shu gets a 3-second time penalty, and that does not help his case in the fight for Rin. So as we watch Lil Rebel come back on Hines, will he be able to get him down into turn 1? This is really a nice little battle at the minute as we watch them, as we have a yellow flag somewhere.
Yeah, some great racing here, and Hines, Lil Rebel takes a position, but it was a bit of a scrappy move there from him.
Yeah, it was, as Mortox spins off, and I think, yeah, Mortox has another spin, and Thomas retires from the session.
More talks out as well then, so we've got a further casualties. It looks like 5 in total so far then.
Yeah, but at the minute we have pretty much the big battle on track is for P4, as there's pretty 5-car train all the way back from Satoshi to was no 4-car train, sorry, all the way back to so we'll see as Little
Oh,
Rebel has
Heinz got a really wide there coming out. He almost lost the car, but not quite. Little Rebel takes position on Marley. So Little Rebel now into the lead of this pack. So this is great racing. I can hardly take my eyes off this bunch because they're racing so closely, and there's so many positional changes here happening.
yeah.
But Marley, I think his tires are going to start to drop off soon, so we may see him pit in the next lap or two.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure how much they're long the tires lap, but
Yeah, because
can't be that
Little
much
Rebel's
long.
actually dropping Marley, and he's out of that DRS range.
Yeah, I think Marley's at the minute just being a bit of a barricading turn in terms of who's on track and at the minute. So we'll see as
But you know
we
what?
reach.
That's playing right into the hands of Verk. He was 12 seconds behind this bunch, and now is, I think it was about two laps ago, and now he's 7 seconds behind. So
Yeah,
we know he's a very fast driver. I'm just looking at chat as well here. Tom said um, he was catching Mortox and he just pushed too hard, and Mortox said he also had damage, and it was the same corner crash that he experienced there and that. So unfortunately, those guys are out of this race for now.
yeah. So it's pretty much a
Well,
close battle at the minute
yeah, Hines
between
is
all
going
the.
for the move. He's got that DRS and was able to take position from Marley before the corner, the hairpin there. So great stuff from him. Hasselhoff with a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah,
So Marley, I think Marley's going to have to pit this lap because you can just see visually how much he's dropping off here in just a few corners.
yeah. He's pretty much going. These tires are clearly gone. So he's coming into the pits now. His tires are pretty much completely shot. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he comes out, and yeah, as Verk is now up into P6, so this could play into Verk's hands at the moment, as I think Verk is going for an alternate strategy, as he's still on the mediums now, so as he's gone to the mediums from the hards, but I
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah, his initial strategy was really compromised, but he's made a really good comeback to get up to P6 already.
Yeah.
And
So
Mortox in chat is saying he got a 10-second penalty for going off the track at the last turn. Because he was going too fast, back onto the track, and he also was struggling with braking and aero. So the damage at the start he received, he says, was the worst, but he made 6 positions up. So fortunately, he lives to tell the tale, and he'll be back for another day, I'm sure.
he'll be back to fight another day. So yeah. So at the minute we are currently on lap 12, third of the way through this race, with Rinrin leading from Shu. Shu putting up an excellent drive at the moment to try and keep pace with Rinrin, as it was Lil Rebel is closing on Satoshi by the look of it. So that could be an interesting battle for the final podium position.
Yeah, and with a battle
So
at the back of the pack as well. Like a P11, one Carl is. Oh, he goes for a dive down the inside on the hairpin. It was a bit ambitious, that one, and is that his teammate as well? Yeah, he goes for a dive on his teammate. Almost took.
he's up.
That's not the first time the two Haas guys almost took each other out in real life.
Yeah,
It seems to be a repeating theme.
yeah, there was a little battle with these two last week in Baku, so it's kind of the same thing. So I don't think Gunther Steiner will be very happy when he comes to the end of the race. So we might see him on the radio make an appearance at some point, as he goes for move. As we have a yellow flag in sector 2. Has anyone gone off at the minute? No, they haven't. So I don't think anyone has. But Doritos is closing on Massa for P7 at the moment, as we have pretty much 3 battles on track. Satoshi, Lil Rebel is closing on Satoshi for P3. Doritos is closing on Massa for P7.
Shoes in the
And
pits, lap
oh,
11.
yeah, as both of these Hasses are still racing hard, as Marley locks up his top. Marley locks up his tires, but credit to Carl for keeping you know, pace with his teammate on 10-lap-old medium tyres. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you would like to think that because they're teammates, you know, and oh,
oh,
one
it's
Carl
Carl.
goes for it, yeah. It's just,
As he
oh, and he
goes,
goes wide and he loses position again. That's unfortunate for him. That was a similar
yeah,
move he did the last lap as well, but that one he was able to do a bit better, but unfortunately wasn't able to hold that position. But I was just going to say that, you know, as teammates, you would imagine they'd be working together. I mean, at this time, like, you know, if I was in this situation, I would think one Carl, you know, he seemed like he had the better pace there, and Marley's on the, you know, the harder tire. So, uh, you know, as a team, if you were a manager of that team, you'd probably be telling like Marley, like one Carl, let him pass and let's see what he can do, if he can break away or not. But these guys are fighting at it. There's no team orders here, definitely.
yeah. I mean, these two has to need to get some championship points. So
And look at
they
that.
really,
I think Hines has had an issue because Verk is right all over his gearbox now. The gap is 0.2.
yeah. As Vert cuts back there, so will Heinz go on the defensive as they come to the head. It's just going. Oh, as Heinz gets a bit.
Oh, it's
But
Satoshi as well and Little Rebel. There's moving here, so we've got a few position changes happening here. It's hard to keep up with this action, but Little Rebel
yeah,
gets overtaken. Yeah,
as
he took a
as
bit.
I think. Sorry, Doritos was having a moment.
Yeah, Satoshi's in the pits, as is Rinrin. But yeah, Little Rebel and Satoshi were battling hard on track there, but Satoshi kept the position, but he's now in the pits.
Yeah, as I think Burke finally gets past Hines with DRS on the straight. Will he be able to make the move stick turn one? As Hines tries to fight back, but no, he will not be able to keep that position, as now Verk is up into P4 already, so that's good. As Satoshi rejoins the track, he's not rejoined the track yet, as he's P9 at the minute.
Yeah.
So
Rinrin was able to pit and still maintain the lead, is that right? Am I
yeah,
reading this right?
he's 4 seconds ahead of. So yeah, the undercut did not work for Shu, unfortunately. So we'll see how that plays into hands at the end of the race. But Rinrin's got fresher tyres, so pretty much I think
And
that'll be a straight
Shu's
run.
carrying that 3 second penalty as well, so that could be huge at the end of the race as well.
Yeah, as the minute Racing Bird is closing up onto the back of Massa for P6, and yeah, this will be pretty interesting to see as we watch them now, as Racing Bird is literally all over the back of Massa. And yeah, as Racing Bird goes wide to come through the final few chicanes has got to navigate. If Racing Bird can get a good exit, he'll be able to get him on the straight. So watch now.
And
As
I think he didn't get a brilliant exit. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. It looked like Hines got a. Oh, who's in the pits? We've got Little Rebel and Hines in the pits now. So
as Racing Bird pulls up alongside Massa, he's got the move done by the look of it. Yes, he turn one.
yeah, and that just shows you how powerful DRS is on that long start finish straight there. He was able to get the move done quite easily there, and he didn't get the best run out, as I was saying, but he's still with a DRS. It just the top speed you have, the advantage it gives you is just crazy.
Yeah, and it's pretty much on that pretty much overpowering to the driver. It's pretty easy to get it done. Satoshi now.
Yeah.
Oh, Satoshi. Oh, I think Mark Carl.
He got a bit twitchy there, didn't he? He was quite close on the gearbox of one Carl, but these guys, the Haas roadblock is not going to do Satoshi any favors, I don't think.
I think it's a bit hard. It's going to be interesting to see if Satoshi can get past the two Hasses who are clearly fighting each other at the moment to see what they're doing. So it'll be an interesting battle from here on. So well, Satoshi pretty much put himself out into a position where he could have compromised his podium position after all. So yeah, at the minute I think also Marley might be in how far is it? So the Racing Bird sets the fastest lap on the mediums, but unfortunately he's 25 seconds behind Rinrin. So I don't think that will play into his hands. I think, yeah, but at the minute.
You got Verk in the pit as well, and he's dropping down the order, so he looks like he'll come out around. I wonder if he's going to come out ahead of this bunch or behind. I think
Will he come out? Yes, he has come out ahead of Satoshi as
Satoshi
on.
goes for the move on the inside
Oh,
down.
Hasselhoff
Oh,
retires from the session.
Satoshi went for a move on one Carl there at turn one, and he's keeping his nose in here, but it's tight. It's neck and neck. They're too wide as they head down into sector two.
Yeah.
That was
That was
sketchy.
literally literally forcing Satoshi onto the grass as Carl is not giving up this position easy.
Yeah, but he needs to
Yeah.
be careful that he doesn't cause an incident here. He's on the ragged edge, it looks like.
Yeah, his tyres are 14 laps old, so I don't think he'll be able to hold on for much longer, to be honest. So, yeah, but the
Yeah,
thing is,
sorry, Adam. I was just going to say, in these kind of circumstances, if you're, you yourself know as a league racer, sometimes you have to pick your battles. And, fighting with Satoshi here for one Carl, he's already dropped 1.4 seconds behind Marley. So you just wonder, is it worth fighting a faster car, whenever it's going to hold you up and cause you to slow down quite considerably?
yeah, it's just in this case, obviously, it's not. So,
Yeah, he's every
yeah.
right to do it. I'm not lambasting
Oh,
him, but he pulls into the pits here, so he kind of held up Satoshi there for no reason. But
but
he's entitled to do it. I'm not criticizing him, but I'm just saying, if you're thinking about the race as a whole, it probably makes more sense not to fight the faster car and just get on with your own race.
yeah, because at the minute he's literally just the only thing actually play into the hands of his teammate Marley and give him a bit of breathing space to Satoshi.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
got
also
Lil
like,
Rebel and Massa are going at it here. They're exchanging positions left, right, and center. They're too wide. Bit of
oh,
contact, little tiny bit of
I don't,
contact.
doesn't look like there's any damage at the minute. So, luckily, that happened. He got through cleanly. So, yep. No, he's not. His card's just ghosting us. Yeah, that was a pretty close battle, to be honest. And he managed to get through unscathed at the minute.
Yeah, and they're both on relatively fresh, hard tires, but it looks like Massa's he's enjoying this. Oh, and Lil Rebel's thinking about going for a move around the outside, but Massa guards the line nicely.
Yeah, as he goes up to the final few turns on this track. So we'll see how he does in 2 minutes when he comes around the final turn. Will he be able to keep some distance and have a go at Massa into turn one? But the minute it looks like Massa is pulling away slightly, but Lil Rebel will have DRS.
Yeah, I'm on board with him now, so you can see the top speed advantage here, but is he going to be able to get him before the first turn? He goes for an inside line, but he doesn't go for the dive. He thinks better off it, which is probably a good thing. Yeah, you don't want to dive in too late, and the car head closes in on you. Could potentially take you out of the race, and that's obviously not what you want. But Massa looked like he got a bad run into I think that's turn four. But he's pulling away a little bit. He's got a gap of 0.7 already. Rin with a fast slap, 121.6 on the hard tire compound. So that's impressive pace from him up front. And that's something we haven't really looked at. Well, there's so much action in the mid pack here that we've kind of missed out on Rin's charge at the front. He's maintained this gap to Shu to around about 4.55 seconds. With
Yeah,
Risenberg 21 seconds behind. So if Rin can just keep this pace and just keep it consistent, and we can see we're on board with him now. He's driving very smooth. He just looks like he has everything under control right now.
yeah. As Lil Rebel gets a 3 second T. So yeah, as at the minute Satoshi is pretty much closing on Marley at the minute, and this is for track position. Satoshi on 3 lap younger tires. I don't think will he be able to make a move on Marley as he comes up to first turn. No, he will have to leave it unless he can get a good exit out of turn one. As we say that, not Massa. No, I saw someone else coming close. But anyway, as we watch Satoshi on board with against Marley now, will he pull out into sector one? No, he won't. As yeah, I think he'll have to come and give it another go. Oh, as Marley goes wide, as Satoshi have another look at them? At the moment, it doesn't look like it. So this is going to be an interesting battle.
Yeah, there's
At the
only a few,
moment,
good overtaking spots here, So Satoshi he's an experienced league racer, and we're seeing the patience of a saint here. But patience is, I think, in this track is, a really good quality to have in a driver. He has a DRS here, but again, it's a short DRS zone, so it's not really an overtaking zone as such. You know, you don't see too many overtakes there. You'd have to be very close on the gearbox of the driver in front, but Satoshi just needs to keep it close to Marley for this long start-finish straight with a DRS. He should be able to take the position here, so it's all about this run
Oh,
out.
well, as we watch on board with Satoshi, well, it looks like Marley gets a bit better on turn.
Yeah, I think
Way
he's
a
going to
bit.
do it this time, though. You see his ERS is full, his DRS is on. I know he's probably running rich fuel mode as well. He should get
Yeah.
a... Oh, no, I don't think he will,
No,
actually.
I think Marley just got a little bit of a better exit on the turn and got the move. But oh, he's close. He's close enough again. He'll be able to do it. Oh, no, he's getting close, but he's not doing it. Oh, his little rebel gets past Massa. I think something happened there because
Yeah, I saw a yellow flag there, so I think Massa maybe had an off track, maybe.
yeah, I think he might have done as. Oh, as Marley's lost. She really putting on the pressure to Marley now, as yeah, they are getting. This is going to be an interesting battle as we watch on board with them. As comes in. Right, as
Oh,
Marley
Marley
goes
gets a
wide,
wide line, yeah. That's going
I
to
think
compromise him.
oh, will Satoshi be able to get send one up the inside?
Oh, he does. Well, he thinks about it anyway. He gets the nose in, but Marley gives him enough space and gets a good run out, able to hold the position for now. But Marley seems to be struggling under the pressure here, and he goes out wide. Is Satoshi? Yeah, he can't really overtake there. It's going to be a bit of a...
I'll say as we watch this, Marley keeping Satoshi behind him is allowing Massa and Lil Rebel to catch up to them. And yeah, I think as well, Burke is starting to close on Doritos and P4.
And look at the run out that Marley got on that final corner. It just bought him enough time to hold off Satoshi with a DRS here. So Satoshi, if Satoshi can get a good run out of that corner, I think he's going to get Marley. But so far, Marley hasn't nailed on that final corner.
I think just by the look of it, Marley's slowing enough down the final turn. He makes Satoshi not get a good enough exit because Marley's just having a bit more power and confidence on the curb because it's easy to spin out on that final turn if you enter wrong. But anyway, this has allowed Massa and Lil Rebel in the background to pretty much get an easier, you know, go up.
Satoshi goes for a move. Oh, in the fast chicane, and he switches to the right, but he's not able to do it. He's making his car as wide as possible here.
As right on board with C, this could be a 5-way battle as Lil Rebel and Massa have now in on the, you know, go,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
think,
Yeah, I think if Satoshi doesn't get this move done on the start finish rate, I think he's going to get mugged here from behind from Little Rebel and Massa. So he really needs this final corner is going to be crucial. Oh, Massa gets it wide. He had to slow down massively there with the free cars in front. It was Constantino effect and compromised his run. He's fallen back a wee bit here. But Satoshi is right on the back of Marley here. I don't think Marley's going to be able to hold this off for now.
No. Will he be able to do it? Oh, this is close. As Marley, finally Satoshi gets through on Marley. Oh, as Lil Rebel goes into the back of Marley. As Marley spin out the final turn, I think that's just compromised him. Will Massa be able to get a look in on? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Marley's struggling on these hard tires. They're 11 lap old, and you can see the lack of grip there. Just visually, just swinging out of the corner, and the car losing so much speed on the loss of traction.
Yeah, I think as well, Doritos has come into picks. He's come out in P10. It's put Racing Bird into the podium positions at the minute. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see on track. So, yeah. So, as we watch...
So Racing Bird he still has to pit then. He's going to probably go for... I'm not sure what Yeah, he stopped already once, so I'm assuming he's went soft, medium, and he's going to go medium again, so he'll probably be pitting this lap or next.
Yeah, because I think he got caught up in the turn one scuffle, so I think that might...
I think that means Verk is going to take P3, you know, so... but he's going to have to fight off Burb in the dying moments of the race, I think.
Yeah, unless Racing Bird can somehow manage those to the end, he might be able to keep P3, but I highly doubt he'll be able to get them way to the end. So it'll be interesting to see. Is Marley coming back at Massa? As yeah, I think again, Lil Rebel and Satoshi are about to be interlocked in a battle as this pack are still getting bunched up. And yeah, I think anyone down from P5 to P9. Oh, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Doritos goes off the track. No, it's Carl. I think Carl had a moment. Doritos is now 2 seconds away from him. Oh, as Doritos makes a bit, no, gets out the way of Rin. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Doritos had that issue there, and Carl took good
Oh,
position.
it's like, sorry, just to interrupt us. Lil Rebel is now closing in on Satoshi, so this will be an interesting battle as we come into the final 9 laps. But yeah, it's like every time they come out the sweeping right-hander, it looks like whenever they hit the curb, there's always a twitch on the car, and it's going to
Yeah, it gives you a heart attack. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, here,
Oh, it's Verk.
yeah, Verk gets P3, but Risenberg is put on the soft tire, and he's right behind Verk, so Verk's going to come under a lot of pressure from this guy
Oh,
on soft.
sorry to interrupt. Doritos has gone off at the sweeping right-hander, got a damaged front ring, and he was running pretty well, to be honest.
Oh
As
dear.
Lil Rebel gets past Satoshi into turn 1, and gets the move done. So Satoshi getting stuck behind Marley on for the last few laps has clearly not helped his
Ooh,
cause one bit.
Satoshi gets a 3-second time penalty as well there for running wide. So that it's gone from bad to worse for Satoshi right now. So he loses the
Yeah,
position and picks up a time penalty for his troubles.
yeah, as well. I think Verk is going to have a little bit of a time defending Racing Bird who's got 7 laps to overtake him on the
Yeah,
soft time.
yes,
So
this is going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be a big ask of Verk to hold off Risenberg, but the more laps he can stay ahead of Risenberg, the better that's going to be for him in the long run, as those tires will, I would say, run at maybe lap, I don't know, they're going to be pretty good for a good few laps though, and we can already see he's right behind Verk, and he's already got the DRS. He's not going to be able to make a move this lap, but he's going to be right all over the gearbox of Verk for the next lap or so.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this fight pans out. As yeah, he's getting, I think, got pretty close then as he's had to take a warning action in turn 1. As we watch them coming into sector 1 now, as Verk, oh god, what the hell's my name on this? Comes close to him. Will he be able? He's got so much more traction. He's just gonna have to pick his point carefully, see when he wants to make his move. As they come up to sector 2 now, and the sweeping right-hander, will Racing Bird be able to get the move done? As Shu sets fast lap, will he be able to have a response to Rinmin as Doritos retires from the session, unfortunately?
Yeah, just
And
saw him
yeah,
there on the back
sorry,
the back straight.
Racing Bird, will he get the move done? He's going wheel to wheel with Burke as Burke holds on again. And
Yeah, but it's only a matter of time, isn't it? This start finish race coming up, and Verk's going to know it. He has to get a good run out here, but the grip is with Risenberg right now. It's not looking good for Verk.
yeah, as he gets a bit too heavy on the throttle and makes the back slide out, as again we'd be able to get the move done. Burke as yeah. As Hines spins off.
Oh, and sorry, Risenberg's going for a move on Verk.
Oh,
Contact. Side by side into turn 3 here. We see that Risenberg has the better traction here, but I think he's going to go for a move on the inside, and he thinks about it. He backs out, but he's going to have a much superior grip here and gets on the power earlier, but Verk's not making it easy for him. Verk's making that car as wide as possible.
Sorry to interrupt. Lil Rebel has spun at turn 1, and that's allowed Marley through. Oh, Lil Rebel doing such a great job as well, and I think that's just handed P6 to Marley at the moment.
Good job to Marley. P6 looking good.
I think Racing Bird might finally have them done as.
He has to run onto the grass to get on the inside line, but he gets it, and that's going to be great for him. Forces Verk out wide.
Verk is doing.
How did Verk get the traction there on the curb?
It just looked like when he came through the sweeping right-hander, it just looked like that was dead and gone. But this is getting so close. So let's have a look at Verk's ERS. His ERS is going. I think the question is, it's just a matter of when will, oh, for crying out loud, when will Verk get past it? Will it be now? As Racing Bird looks like he's got a much better line. He's got the DRS. He's got the move done.
Yes, he's got the
Yeah,
move done before the corner, yeah, so Verk had no
yeah,
chance there, really.
yeah. Fortunately, looks like that's the end of it for Verk.
Yeah, I
And
mean, Rissenberg's just going to stretch his legs now as he pulls out a almost 1 second gap by the end of the first sector.
yeah, but
Masses
even
in the
though we have,
pits.
yeah, massive pits, but as we haven't mentioned them much, but Rinrin sets the fastest lap, and Shu also keeping him on heel with 6 seconds, as he's 6 seconds behind him. So we'll see as Larson goes into the final points position. I think Massa might have had some wing damage. Yeah, he did have some front damage because he came into the pits. He's only on 3 laps old soft, so it was kind of interesting to see why he did come into the pit in the first place. So anyway, we'll get on with it as we go into the final 5 laps of the race. There's currently no close battles on track, as it looks like Rinrin is going to take the win unless something drastically goes wrong, as Racing Bird takes the fastest. Another yellow flag. Massa, yeah, unfortunately has a spin out of the pits this time into turn 1.
Yeah, and that's
And
interesting. Rissenberg gets that fastest lap because that will give him a point, although he is 40 seconds behind Shu right now, so he's not really gonna, 5 laps left. He's not really in contention for anything better than P3, but that fastest lap will give him an extra point.
yeah, so we'll see how that pans out. Shu, Shu is starting to drop back on Rinrin, so I think that's might have set the final standing position as we watch on with Rinrin now. So at the minute, it looks like unless someone makes a mistake, this looks like finishing position of the race.
Yeah, fairly big intervals now developing between all the drivers. Don't really see any close gaps on track at the minute, so maybe an opportunity to talk about. Yeah, I was going to ask you, Adam, about. I know you're going to be taking part in EGL with DMR for the first time. Um, tell us a wee bit about your driver lineup you selected for that.
So with our driver lineup, it's going to be myself, Popo, Rinrin, and Marcin. From he competed in the last tournament for SOR, so asked him to fill in there. Originally, we was going to have Onion Barge in the team, but due to some, we just made the decision that it would be best to switch the drivers around at the last.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, Shu, I mean, he has raced in EGL before, he did very well. Actually, that might be a lie. I think he was due to take part in an EGL, and he had an issue with his internet, wasn't able to take part, unfortunately. But I know from SLR he's very fast driver, so I mean, he's one that you should consider as well, like as even as a reserve, maybe backup driver.
Yeah, it's like we've had a few drivers in consideration, but we asked a variety of drivers, and then yes or no, we just came up with our final lineup in the end who would be best suiting for each of the track.
Yeah, and
And
if any
just
of the drivers are listening, I've been heavily involved in the EGL tournaments and setting them up and organizing. I've even taken part in a EGL tournament, as crazy as that sounds.
hang on, when was you in an EGL tournament?
I think it was the first one. I don't think I did the second one, but I'm pretty sure I did take part in one of them. It was just when we were getting started and just testing the format out. But I was just going to say, like, the EGL tournament, if the guys are listening, they're driving for any of the leagues, but for DMR, practice, get together as a team and practice, because any guys who have won or done well in EGL, I've noticed that they've put in a lot of hard work. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
another thing is to consider, it is a driver versus driver tournament, but it's also league versus league, so you do want that kind of teamwork element. As we see,
yeah.
Shoes in the pits.
I think he's going to go for fastest lap.
Oh, interesting. He picks up a 5 second time
But
penalty. Oh dear. I don't think it's
I
going to hurt
think
him too much.
no, I think like now he'd realised he couldn't get the win, so he's going to go for the fastest lap as Racing Bird currently has got it, so he's got 2 laps to try and set a time to get that extra point. But yeah,
I think he has a 5-second time penalty there, and he's also got, I believe, 3 seconds as well. So he does have 8 seconds of penalties. I wonder where Burb is going to be in terms of time behind Shu. It's saying 40 seconds at the minute, but I don't think that's updated since that pit stop.
nah. Does he come out as Verk? Ooh, I wasn't say sorry. I thought Verk was closing in on Racing Bird, but it doesn't look like it. But I think the game just must have lagged out or something. Yeah. So for our, well, to be honest, we are looking forward to competing in the EGL for our first time, and pretty much just our intentions. As long as we can keep the car on the track and put in a decent performance, then we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean the teamwork element is huge. You know, I've seen I've seen leagues take part before, and they kind of take it lightly. You know, they just show up on the day and go, oh yeah, I'll put in a 5 minutes practice, whatever. If you can get your guys together and grind the tracks, and you know, really work on the teamwork aspect of it, you know, I mean, like oh, and Rinrin as well is in the pits, so we're going to see a shootout here for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Is it going to go to Shu, or is it going to go to Rinrin, or is Berg going to hold that fastest lap time?
I think, yeah, Rin has just come out ahead. The shoot they created big enough gap to get it, so get it. At the minute, Racing Bird has faster lap, so we'll see as we watch on board both of them. But yeah,
Yeah, one
just
thing
like
we looked at with the EGL was, you know, with the SLR drivers, we kind of look at who's the fastest, and then we sort that out beforehand so that whenever you're in a race, you're not then having two guys fighting each other in the same team. You just, you know, they accept that, right, this guy's faster, I'll let him pass. There's no point battling, and it plays out, you know, because the first tournament I took part in, we had SLR guys fighting each other on track, and it really cost us points for the league, you know. So it's something to consider. It's a different kind of mindset you have when you go into the tournament. It's not just a standard race. It's, you know,
yeah,
it's league versus league as well as driver versus driver. So that's
it's
something to
like
be conscious of.
the thing is, well, as long as you've got driver cohesion, then that's pretty much what you need. As like 2SRL showed it last time, as well as they won. So that'll be a tough match, and pretty much I think it's 2 weeks on Friday. It'll be time for EGL.
Yep, 2000 CEST. It's gonna be a good one, I think.
Oh, the shoe sets the fastest lap.
Ooh, 119.501. The gauntlet has been laid for Rinrin then. So
Yeah,
Rinrin's
I
on his
think.
first lap here, on his first full lap on sauce. Well, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I think as well with the EGL, like the track selection, not some of my favourite tracks to be honest. So I'm gonna write myself off for 2 of them at least. But yeah. Anyway, we'll pick up on the EGL in a bit and keep on board for the final lap as the race leader Rin pretty much having a dominant race, and let's see if he can catch up. As Larson, Larson is now close to Hines. They'll get one more lap to battle it out. The final
Oh,
points. No, not the final. As Larson goes up the inside of Rin in the
oh,
background.
yeah, scrappy battle here, but Larson does it. He gets the move done, and he's into P9. Heinz down into P10 now, but yes, Rin is navigating around these final corners, so it looks like Heinz and
Oh, as
Larson.
Little Rebel also gets past Marley for the final time. As now Rin crosses the line and wins the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, and
Close.
unfortunately, no fastest lap for Rin there.
As Shu, I think will take the fastest lap. As yeah, he crosses the line. It's a great performance by Shu as Racing Bird comes round the final penultimate turn, which looks like to be an impressive P3 on his debut. So a great result for him as well. But he could have been pretty better unless he hadn't been for that turn one scuffle up. But at the minute, we'll keep an eye on this close battle for P6. As Carl looks like he's going to. Will he get a final move on Lil Rebel? It doesn't look like he will. No, Marley. I mean, not Carl. Sorry, it's just close. So, always Lil Rebel gets a bit. Gets a bit
Oh,
off it. Will he be able? Will Carl be able to? Will Carl make a late move coming into the final 2 turns? As we'll see as he comes up. No, I think that's it Hines gets past Larson for P10. What happened there? I'm not sure, but
Larson's run out of fuel, I think. Yeah, he's 65 mile an hour. He's out of fuel.
oh
So,
my, I don't think I've seen that for a while.
and yeah,
So
that's quite a considerable amount. Like, he ran out by sector 3, so he's got a whole sector to navigate here. But he's going to hold on to that P10 position, I think. He's just
yeah, I mean,
nursing the car around the final corner.
I mean, you know that position better than anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
As last,
P10 is a point, so fair play to Larson. He gets it over the line and takes that final points 10 position.
so yeah, there we go. Every driver crosses the line as Larson home in P10. So yeah, as now we see the drivers podiums. Rin taking his third win of the season, with Stewart and Racing Bird putting up a valiant fight for the final two podium positions. But yeah,
And look how
fair few.
close it was, for the fastest lap there. Point not 2-3 between the Shu and Rinrin.
Yeah, that was really close battle as we saw pretty much dive into the pits to get the final, you know, fastest lap position. So yeah, it will be an interesting talk at the end to see how
Yeah,
it was to get the final one. So yeah, there we go. The
yeah.
final classified results for the Spanish Grand Prix.
And I think Verk as well. I mean, we should mention that he was heavily involved in that incident. The Star he was on the hard tire and he had to pit. He went for the medium then, but he's got himself up into P4, which is a great drive, great recovery drive from him.
Yeah, it was just, I think, just on that, I think all the chaos on that one kind of ruined a few people's races, a few hold-ups in qualifying. So it could have been a lot different. So we'll have a look. We'll see in a bit how that affected the race. But yeah, it was all good in the end. So yeah, after that, so we got to pick a driver. I don't know. We'll pick a driver of the day in a bit, but I think I'll have to go for an honorable mentions. I think Verk and Racing Bird did pretty good jobs to get into P3 and P4 respectively. So yeah, there's the voice gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Verk had a phenomenal drive. I mean, you always hate to see that at the very start of a race, when you get heavily compromised or you pick up damage or you have to pit on lap, 1 or 2, whatever. But he just got his head down. He just kind of recomposed himself, and we saw him fighting hard there for position and holding up. He wasn't making it easy for Racing Burb, and some fantastic racing for us to call, thankfully. That's some you have some races where it's like, everybody's, the intervals are huge and you don't see much close racing, but this race had everything. It had the drama at the start. You had plenty of overtakes. I mean, at one point there was 4 or 5 drivers battling over one position, and then we had plenty of incidents as well throughout the race. But Rinrin just kept his head down, and with Shu keeping him honest there. He was keep maintaining the gap around about 5-6 seconds throughout the whole race. So it wasn't an easy victory for Rinrin, but he just basically he did all the right things, and he picks up the 25 points. And I'm not sure how that affects the standings, Adam, but maybe you could talk
I'll
about that a bit.
as that yeah, I'll update the standings in a bit, but I think at the minute that will extend Rinrin's lead at the top of the championship to, I think, hang on, so I'm just getting the standings up right now. That will extend Rinrin's gap at the top of the championships to 25 points, then that'll keep Verk in P2 by the look of it as it comes up. Yeah, I think from the next race I'll have to have the standings updated for each race
Yeah,
by the
that
look of
that'd be good. I'm just
it.
thinking, Adam, will we switch over to the commentator channel and then maybe bring in some drivers for a chat?
Unless you want to, then yeah, we can do
Yeah,
if you want. So
yeah.
yeah, we'll
Let's
dive.
go. I wouldn't mind having a wee chat with Rinrin just to see what his take was on that race.
Yeah, we'll dive in now. So yeah, I'll jump. Right then, is Marley? I mean, yeah, it's gonna be 2 seconds. We can see if we can get any more drivers in for any interviews.
Certainly.
So yeah, I think Marley wants an interview. Yeah, is all, this is pretty much like Martin Brundle's grid where you have to grab every driver you can. You can see it's like, even though I don't think they're able to get in, so yeah, it's just literally grab who you can. So yeah.
Okay, well I can move in Rinrin if you want. I'll just yoink him out of chat. I hope he doesn't
Yeah.
mind. But there we have it. Rinrin, you're live on the stream. You're joining us with Ocean Chief here, Adam on the mic. We're just looking to see. I mean, obviously, congrats on a fantastic race. We didn't catch much of you on the stream because basically you were just out front dominating. You had Shu, on your tail. He was keeping you honest about 5-6 seconds for most of the race, but it looked like you had it under wraps there, and I think you went for the fastest lap in the final lap there. But we're unable to get that. But I mean, 25 points. What a performance, man. What do you reckon? How was it from your point of view?
It was a good race. I think we were slightly robbed a little bit because of what happened at the start. Obviously Tom not getting away, because I was really looking forward to the battle with Tom down at the start of the race, because he obviously was on softs, on mediums, and it was, it would have been very interesting. So we slightly got robbed, but I mean, Shu kept me honest. I mean, he was just on my tail. I couldn't shake him off as much as I would have liked. But as I said, good race from Shu. Great recovery from Firebird actually, because he was really down the field at the start, and then he made his way back through. 700, 700s for me getting an extra point.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was so close, so close. It would have been a perfect kind of race for you then. You would have got you got pulled, didn't you? Or no, it was Thomas.
No, I
Sorry,
didn't
got
get
pulled.
pole.
Oh, so well,
Yeah, that was
it
Thomas who got pole.
gives you
Yeah, I
something
thought
to
he did a
improve on.
really good lap there. I really did. Like obviously for him it was like first pole. Um, you know, it was great, but it just we kind of, as I said, we got slightly robbed of a race a little bit really because of that start. So
Yeah.
Does anyone know
From
what happened to Thomas at the start there?
apparently he had a gearbox issue. Basically, he couldn't shift up through the gears.
Oh no. Oh, terrible.
Yeah, I didn't see. I didn't see what happened to Thomas. 'Cause literally, all we saw was he got dragged on the
Mm,
start line. He just didn't get away, so he could have
yeah.
anything what happened. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened. So we'll see when we have a look in a bit.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, Shu kept you on that throughout the race. So
I think realistically looking, I think looking at the pace of qualifying, I think the top four could have been very much more closer. And as I said, we could have a race a little bit for the guys that are watching, because we were very close on pace, all of us. So but it is what it is. I took advantage of a bad situation. I took advantage of the situation and just drove off, or take drove off. But she was just being a little bit just sticking to me. So, but yeah, it was a good race. Good race.
yeah. All right, and so anyway, congratulations on the win, and yeah, seeing how you'll do in Monaco next week.
I'm actually dreading it. Yeah. If I come away with a podium or just somewhere in the top five, I will take it happily.
All you have to do is don't hit the wall. You'll be grand. You'll pick
Yeah,
up points if
that's
you hit
easier
the wall.
said than done.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Monaco is my best result of the season in any race.
Would you
Right,
like to swap out and just and then you can claim my points for me?
I'll try. I mean, we'll,
No,
we'll, we'll see. Right then, right, moving on to Marley. So
Yeah.
that was a pretty interesting battle between you and your own teammates.
Yeah.
I mean,
No team
you.
orders, I guess.
I think he talked to me in the chat, but I was like, okay, I'm the fastest guy. I mean, if I let him pass, I'll compromise my own strategy. So I didn't defend. I just put full ERS and fuel in every straight. So he had to pass me, but I wouldn't have defended.
Yeah, I mean, it was just pretty interesting. Like when in the end you finally the battle kind of broke up. You had Satoshi on your tail throughout the whole thing. So yeah, it was a pretty interesting battle when we was watching it on the stream. But it was just like, from your point of view, was you actually trying to fight for position, or was you trying to fight, for your teammate to try and pick up more points, or was it like a bit of both?
Oh no, totally for for my side. I was trying the best I could to just hold position, which means just keep ERS and fuel all the laps and put back to max when we reach straights. But unfortunately, Satoshi passed me, and I just hit the curb at the second turn, and I lost 2 places.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that was a great drive by you, considering the amount of laps you went on those tires as well. I mean,
Yeah, it was pretty hard. I had like 91% on the front left tires
Oh
at
Jeez.
the
my
end of
god.
first lap.
literally.
Nothing more.
You're playing with your life and death situation there.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I asked my mate Massa, how long does the medium tires last? And he told me 12 laps. So I was like, okay, I have to go as far as I can. Otherwise, I'm gonna get screwed at the end of the hard stint. Had no choice.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that. But yeah, it was pretty much on the strategy. It was like, because I think with all that turn one pile up and everything, it was hard to judge what was the right call.
Yeah, pretty big mess at the start.
Yeah, but yeah. But anyway, a great solid result for you, Marley, and congratulations on P6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well done, mate.
And
Well done.
congrats to Rinrin again.
And right then, moving on to P3 on the podium on his debut, Mr. Racing Bird.
Yeah.
So how overall, how did you find your race?
Mixed emotions, because, well, from qualifying, what was it, 2/300ths of a second between me and Rinrin on the same tyre. So I knew there was something there, and I know my consistency and race pace was good, or very good, I think, through most of the race. The start, I don't know what happened with the guy in P1. Someone said gearbox issues or something. I don't know how that happened when you do the whole formation lap, or if they didn't have the clutch set up or what. I feel like that's something you should check, or I don't know. So
Yeah, I
I hit
think
them off the line because I had a good start, and there's nothing I could do to avoid them because people coming from the right, and you don't want to hit them either. So
I think just from what we've heard, it was a gear selection malfunction, something like that, on Thomas's end. So, but we'll find out after, once the FIA launched an investigation.
yeah, can't blame him if it was a genuine error. But like I say, off the line well, couldn't avoid him in case I'd hit people on the right and just clipped the wing. Round turn 1, tried to hook it around the outside and hit someone. That was my mistake because I just didn't have a feel for the downforce at that point. So, but the recovery though, that made everything quite fun. I think. I think.
Yeah.
I think I dropped to like 11th or something by the time I decided to pit.
Yeah, I mean, because as well, considering how far you dropped back, I didn't think you would even have a chance, to be honest, in the race to come P3 and
I
challenge
had
the
to die. I wanted. I was expecting, maybe hoping for P4, but then, yeah. So those tires dropped off, and I had to go for the softs. I didn't think fastest lap would really happen because they were so far ahead by this point, and I'd lost all chance to fight them. They could go for it, and they did. Vert
Yeah.
was really hard to get past, but that was a lot of fun.
I mean, for us watching that on stream, that was pretty hard driving. But like, some of his moves where he was like pretty much closing the door, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't want to call it aggressive because I feel I like hard racing, and it was very fun. But you have so much traction on those softs, and you don't want to burn them out. It's just so hard and frustrating to get past. But it was fun. I suppose it made it feel a bit more worth it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think this track as well. It's not really an overtaken track. Apart from the start finish straight.
Yeah.
You have to be be patient. And I think you showed that in the race.
That was exactly. Like it was so hard because I don't know what downforce he had on the straights as well. It was so hard to get past him until you were right on him coming out of the last turn, and then even then that took like 2 attempts before I just braked really late. I can't remember where I went, to be honest. Tried it so many times. So it was good in defense. So I wouldn't say it was bad because I like hard racing, but nothing bad came out of it, so it was good.
Yeah, so yeah, it was great race by you to finish P3 and recover from that, pile up on that one. So congratulations on a well-earned
Thank you.
podium and a great debut.
Yeah, good job, man. Good job.
Thank you.
When you said you needed to keep us waiting, you actually delivered with a great performance.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a horrible feeling I'm gonna have pretty crap starts to races, and everything is gonna be like pretty interesting. It's pretty spicy, but
Makes
I
it
don't know.
more
I feel
interesting for us to call, so it does if you see
yeah.
that.
I'm not too frustrated. I knew that I had, like I say, good pace, and I was surprised considering I've been away for 7 weeks and hadn't driven, that I was able to match somewhat on qualifying. So I knew something was there, but not a boring first race, so I can't complain. It will come, I hope.
Right then, moving on to Mr. Satoshi.
Hello,
Uh,
gamers.
Hello. So that was, what I want to really ask first though is your fight with the Haas. That was a pretty great battle from when we was watching. So yeah, what was going through your head when he was staying on the track in front of you for all that time?
I think maybe Gunther said to them something, which is not enough. It's enough is enough. So
Nothing can be saying.
so
You say you can fight.
yeah, it was a pretty good fight with Carl actually. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was good from
I
our point of view, Adam, wasn't it? Because obviously if you just zoom past them, it's a bit boring for us to call, but it's good to see the fighting on the track for a few laps. But
yeah.
it did compromise you a wee bit, getting held up like that, but it is what it is, I guess. And yeah, I think you did
Yeah.
well overall.
But sadly I did the same shit twice, I had front wing damage twice. Same scenario, same spot. So
was it turn 1?
no, it was turn 4 at the left-hander.
Uh,
I braked too late and I hit Heinz and then I hit Rebel, but we had an accident at turn 1 at the end of the race. I believe it's a side pod thing, so I felt so bad for him because it was a pretty good fight with him. But yeah, at least I didn't spawn like last week. So yeah, I tried my best, If I won't crash twice, I think it would be around P4, P3, P4, or maybe P5 even, but my pace was very consistent and I'm happy with that. So yeah. And I can say to Chief is that I'm not a disabled person anymore, so yeah, I am happy about that I can improve in the
But
game.
can I just clarify what you mean by not disabled?
I
No
turned off
assist?
traction control.
Oh, excellent. That's great stuff. And what about racing line?
I don't know, maybe later.
I was gonna say, if you think we're gonna get closer to enough racing line, you got another thing coming. We've got a few weeks. I need. Just like on turning off racing line, as long as you know the track, you can turn it off. But it's just completely on the context of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear, Satoshi. Though you're dropping ABS, because you are a fast driver, and it's really just about learning the tracks, really, like the racing line as well. But the ABS, if you can just nail the braking points and kind of memorize those, you're good. Like, and I think it's a more challenging, enjoyable experience, without the assists. So I think everybody should try and, that's everything. Everyone should aspire to that because I think you get a lot more respect as well if you finish first and you've not used any assists. Like no one can no one can question it. They can just say that was pure pace. Pure skill basically.
It's like just like pretty much this week I've like pretty much turned ABS off fully because I think it was Sunday I raced in OCR and then I did that 2SRL race with no ABS on. But like the main difference is just from going from ABS on to ABS off is just like how you've got to brake. If you go into a turn, you've got to not change your gear while you're in turns. If you go too slow, the back just snaps out. So it's just a completely different art of having to brake, pretty much, from what I've learned.
Yeah, something I picked up as well as as a no assist driver is if I'm up against someone who is using ABS, it makes me kind of nervous because I know that they can just go, they know exactly where to brake and they just put the brake on full and it's grand. Whereas I have to
I
make
mean,
sure I don't lock up and go too deep and all this kind of stuff.
I think Pretorius will have a few things to say about ABS users after Friday.
Controversial.
But yeah, it's just about doing that and just getting used to assist off it, like because I know Tipsy always says about he's always, I think he's a big advocate of assists off, and he always says get ABS off, and then I think, like, to be honest, I kind of agree with him. It does make you faster in a sense, but it's like how I always wonder how guys online, when you see them on leaderboards, how they've set times with ABS on, because I think it's like kind of loses pace when you have it on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the track as well. Like Baku, I noticed, ABS is quite OP. Um, but like other tracks, you get, having ABS off is probably a bit of an advantage if you can master it. But I think like, as assists, I mean, there is this like sense of, people, a wee bit of elitism, where it's like if you don't have any assists on, like you're somehow better than everybody. But really assists are there, for people to try to get comfortable with the driving and then, lose the assist. So we're not like looking down on anybody who uses assists. Like, if you need it, you need it. But I think it is good to kind of aspire to dropping them eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll shed the light now. I am racing with no assists on Thursday in Hungary, so that will be a first for me.
Rip.
So put it this way: if you see me spinning off somewhere, that's probably because you know why.
It's going to happen, but sure, you live and learn. You live and learn.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But anyway, I just like to say thanks to all the drivers for taking the time to do an interview, and congratulations to Rin. Or did I just say win-win?
Yeah.
Rin gets the win-win. Ah.
I dare you to say that the next time I win then.
Why is it? Should I say even if you've written yourself off a moniker already, I'll do it. Like Rin gets the win-win.
Yes.
Why? Oh god, it sounds like a good anime line. Rin gets the win-win. Oh. Cool. Oh god. I'm sorry if that's offended anyone who watches anime.
All the Japanese people are gonna have him words.
Eeps, pitchfork now.
That's the Japanese audience have just went offline there.
Oh god, but anyway, it was like I said, thanks for all the drivers for taking their time as usual to do interview. So yeah, and yeah, I'd just like to say a special thanks like to Ocean Chief as well for stepping in pretty much at the last minute to stream and commentate on this race. So like I'll give a hats off to him for doing all that, and it's been a pleasure to have him as a co-commentator for this race.
Yeah, it's first time calling a race with you and first time calling a race in DMR. And, like when you asked me earlier, I literally just woken up, been on a night shift. So it was kind of a bit groggy going, I don't know. But I had a cup of tea and something to eat. And, yeah, I really enjoyed the experience. There was some really good racing. And I mean, there was a big bit of carnage at the start, but I mean, that, that didn't ruin the race. It actually made it a bit more interesting in certain aspects. So, yeah, fairly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to DMR taking part in EGL. I want to see what you guys are capable of. And I was talking on stream about it, a bit about it, but my advice to you guys is put some practice in, get together, and really work on the teamwork aspect of that. But really grind the tracks together. Really, just nail them, and you'll do well in the tournament. Don't do what some people have done before and just show up about an hour before the tournament and go, what day is the tournament on? That is not a good strategy. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we've assured we've got practice in place, so we'll see when we come into it how we do. But yeah, we're feeling confident.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Good luck to the DMR guys, and thanks again for having me on. I did enjoy that. That was good stuff. Some good racing from all you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, and it was pretty exciting. And next week we'll be on to the pretty much how I don't know how to say it apart from hopefully if we don't get any carnage in turn one, we'll be lucky. Or just it's Monaco.
It's Monaco, yeah.
And I'm going to die.
It's gonna be fun.
Everyone's gonna die. Everyone's gonna
Yeah,
die.
Remember, no heroics into Sunday Vot, please.
Yeah.
You underestimate my
Vot?
power.
Hey, listen, I did a race in 2SRL, and it was Monaco. It was
I
50%.
was comment.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
that's right. Yeah.
I was commentating on it because then, oh god, I got
full
can I
full
divulge
wet, full wet, and
it
it was horrible. It was horrible,
That
but
was-
I survived somehow.
I mean, you survived, but that wasn't the story of the race. That was the flying Red Bull.
Oh yes,
That-
that's right. Yeah.
that- I think it was Slash. I can't remember who had the pilot, but then the Red Bull had nowhere to go and got flung up the side of the
It was
harbour.
actually me. I caused that. I caused that issue, and yes, Slash. He was basically wall riding. He was like 90-degree angle to the ground, riding the barriers.
Oh god. I mean, that image just still sticks in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, I think we'll sign off there. So yeah, a great congratulations to renewing, and thanks for Ocean and Marley, Racing Bird, and Satoshi for doing the interviews again. So there, with that, we'll be back to the studio and back next week for Monaco.
Okay. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.